Hendo, thanks for your time. Thanks for joining us. A tough night tonight against Sheffield. How do you reflect on that one?
Well, like you said, a tough night. Disappointing to concede 40 points. So and just obviously gutted for the group this evening. We come here with high hopes of delivering a performance and a result, but ultimately we just didn't have enough in us tonight to get the job done. I thought there was some encouraging signs throughout the game. There was some times there where I thought our contact tackle management was good, and we strung a few sets together, and and we found ways to get back into the game. Certainly in the first half, but ultimately we put ourselves under far too much pressure. I mean, the start of the game, we come up with a penalty on play 3, then we come up with an error and then another penalty, they score, and then they score again off the run of play. It was a bit of poor execution, and they get us on a length of the field try on a quick tap 20, and but then credit to the playing group. They got themselves back into the grind and the arm wrestle, so to speak, and we boxed off a few sets, had some good ball control, got to field position, then we scored a great try with Chris Clarkson, and we're back in the game. But then unfortunately we just compound ourselves with more errors and penalties and six agains, and invite Sheffield into the right field position, and they score points. So it was obviously disappointing. We spoke about the fact with Sheffield that they're a good attacking team. They in the last 4 games they've scored on average 31 points a game, but equally they've conceded on average 30 points a game. So tonight for us was going to have to be a very methodical approach in terms of completing high, turning the ball over in the right areas, and just obviously waiting for that right time to just hopefully execute and get over the line and try and nick a result tonight. We're never going to win by a big margin. It was going to be having to nick a result, but ultimately we just never gave ourselves enough opportunity, put ourselves under far too much pressure tonight, Jacob. So, and we were put to the sword by a very good Sheffield side.
Yeah, obviously you got it to 10-6, sort of, I think, by the half-hour point, but obviously Sheffield scored twice before half-time. How crucial was that a moment in the game? Yeah,
massively, mate, massively. And it was just, again, disappointing, conceding on last play, just, again, lapses of concentration, not enough people in the frame moving and tidying up when Thackeray puts that little grubber kick. It kind of bobbled everywhere and ricocheted, but no one was getting around it, and he picks it up and scores. And so there's some moments in there that are quite disappointing, but ultimately when you put yourself under that much pressure, with errors and penalties and six agains, ultimately somebody's going to make it a poor decision defensively, or a defensive lap, or you lapse the concentration that occurs, mate. So, so ultimately, mate, we weren't good enough for long enough periods. We spoke about it, that we have to do the little things consistently well tonight if we're going to give ourselves a chance, and we didn't do the little things well consistently enough. We had it in spits and spurts, and we saw some encouraging signs at times, but ultimately wasn't enough, Jacob.
Yeah, I know obviously you're struggling with injuries at the moment, and then James Glover goes off as well in the first half. I know we say this every week, but you're doing it really tough at the moment.
Yeah, we are, mate. Yeah, James, unfortunately, he landed funny on his knee, the impact with the surface there, and he had to come off early in that first half. So, again, puts us under pressure, losing one of our more established players, and then Jesse Dee had to come off at the back end as well. It looks like he's done an issue there with his finger. So, it looks, we'll have to get some assessment on that. So, again, not a good night in terms of potentially losing some bodies. But, one thing I will say, Jacob, is we've got a group of men here that care. I spoke to the boys after the game in the change rooms there, and they're obviously very disappointed and dejected, because I think it's been a massive effort these last couple of games. We built up the Batley game to be a bit of a final for us, and to lose it in the fashion that we did was obviously bitterly disappointing, and I think it's took a lot out of them, emotionally but also physically. We freshened them up with a 5-day turnaround to get ready for Sheffield, who we knew were going to come out tonight determined, because they had a poor performance last week, and we knew we had to be good, like I said, consistently good in the small areas tonight, which we unfortunately weren't. So it's took a lot out of the boys, but the effort is certainly there, and I'll tell you why, because we're 40-10 down with 2 minutes to go. Sheffield break within their own 20. And every single one of our York players got back, scrambled, got back behind the ball. We forced an error, so we stopped them from scoring. And I looked and I said to Kermo next to me, I said, look at that. Every single one of our 13 players, props included, were back behind the ball. Now, that tells me you've got a group of men that care, mate. 40-10 down, and they're still scrambling to try and defend their try line like that. Epitomises what we're about as a group and as a team. So, I just reassured them of that in the change rooms after the game. We've still got a lot of good things to play for. Yes, the top 6 is getting harder each week the more we lose. but it's not dead and buried yet. It's not over, and you know there's going to be a lot of twists and turns still to come in this championship competition. We've got the Challenge Cup to look forward to next week. We've got the 1895 Cup semi-final coming up as well to look forward to. So plenty of good things to be excited about as a York player and as a York fan as well. And I know it will turn for us. It will turn. We're just going to have to do a little bit of a mini rebuild now as a group and just rebuild ourselves back up, you know, from the ground up again. Hopefully get a little bit of the cavalry back over in the next few weeks as well to help support that sort of rebirth, and we'll have a strong finish to the end of the year and what's to come.